Hello, and welcome to the third and final installment of the Rural Innovation Fund DRGR training sessions. My name is Robert Waters from HUD's Office of Community Renewal. This session will be administered by my colleague Aaron Taylor and myself. Today's session will be split into two sections. The two sections covered in today's training includes a follow-up to training session 2 and a discussion of the QPR module. I will start by reviewing the materials covered in training session 2, which includes the selection of responsible organizations and leveraging partners. In the following slides, I will provide screenshots of DRGR and go through the steps required for entering and selecting leveraging partners in the DRGR action plan, as well as the process of selecting responsible organizations. The video for training session 2 is available on HUD's YouTube channel and is linked to this presentation. If you would like to receive a copy of the slides, please contact your assigned field office contact. Leverage partners are considered funding sources in the DRGR action plan. When you create or edit an existing action plan, funding sources can be added at the bottom of the screen. Once entered, funding sources can be selected and their financial contributions can be tracked when activities are entered or edited. This slide depicts the Edit Action Plan screen where grantees are presented with the option of adding an activity and adding funding sources. Leverage partners are entered in the area highlighted in the green box. It is important to add the funding sources at this level so they can automatically be selected from a list of options at the activity level, or when you're adding or editing an activity. Responsible organizations are assigned on page 2 of the Add Activity page. Responsible organizations are the primary entity responsible for carrying out an activity. As a result, they are accountable for the funds being invested in that activity. When adding a responsible organization, their funding amount should be reflected in the program funds budgeted at the activity level. Please note that responsible organizations may or may not be a leveraging partner for an activity. If a responsible organization is also a leveraging partner, it is important to also add them as a funding source as discussed in the previous slide. Grantees aren't always responsible for carrying out an activity. For instance, a grantee might have a partnership with a local university to provide training to residents within a target area of the grant. The university would be the primary responsible organization. This slide depicts page 2 of the Add Activity screen where grantees can identify grantee involvement in a specific activity and responsible organizations can be selected. The area highlighted in the red box indicates where you would click to enter the options to select a responsible organization. When you click the Select button under Name of the primary responsible organization, as illustrated on the last slide, you will be prompted to select from a list of previously entered organizations as shown here. On the bottom of the screen, grantees can finalize their selection by clicking Select Responsible Organization. If the responsible organization is not listed, one can be added by either clicking Add Responsible Organization on the bottom of the Select Responsible Organization screen that was displayed in the previous slide, or by clicking Add in the Responsible Organization section on the left navigation menu that is displayed when you are in the Action Plan module. After responsible organizations are added, the proposed budget for the activity being carried out must be entered and should match the total funds budgeted as indicated by the blue boxes on this screenshot. Funding sources or leveraging partners are assigned on page 1 of the Add Activity screen in the Action Plan module. DRGR views leveraging resources as matching funds or other funds. For each activity, select the Matching Funds box for the applicable organizations and then assign a contribution amount. Be sure to only include partners and funding that is applicable to the specific activity. This is the Add Activity Page 1 screenshot. This lists a proposed activity and all potential leverage partners. All the leverage partners that were previously entered are listed at the bottom of the screen, highlighted by the red box. To assign a leveraging partner to an activity, you must ensure that the box next to the organization's name in the Matching Funds column is selected and enter only the dollar amount contributed to that specific activity. DRGR selects all the leveraging partners by default, so be sure to uncheck the Matching Funds boxes next to the organizations that are not financial contributors to an activity. The dollar amounts next to the organizations that aren't selected will not be counted in the total, so you are not required to zero out the fund amount. After adding all the funding sources and leveraging partners, the total dollar amounts in the highlighted boxes should be equal. In this example, there are 3 leveraging partners: Green Acres Credit Union, funds from the City of Green Acres, and Green Acres Housing Trust Fund. All these funds total $70,000, and this amount should be reflected in the other funds total. Before grantees submit an action plan, they should be sure to check activity budgets to ensure the dollar amounts proposed for the activity are accurate. The primary responsible organization for this sample activity is Green Acres Consumer Counseling, and the total RIF funds contributed to this project is $24,000. This dollar amount should be reflected in each section highlighted by the red boxes. The funding contributions from the selected funding sources or leveraging partners, Green Acres Credit Union, the City of Green Acres, and the Green Acres Housing Trust Fund, are $4,000, $7,000, and $59,000 for the total of $70,000 leverage for this activity. The total of these funds should be displayed next to other funds total, highlighted by the purple box. That gives us a grand total of $94,000 budgeted for the homeownership counseling and education activity. That completes our training session 2 review. Now I'd like to hand it off to my colleague, Aaron Taylor, so he can discuss the QPR module. Thank you.
This is Aaron Taylor, and I will be picking up where Mr. Robert Waters left off. We're going to be looking now at Section 2 of the DRGR Training Session 3 PowerPoint presentation. In Section 2, we're going to be introducing the QPR module, which is the Quarterly Performance Reporting module in DRGR. And Rural Innovation Fund grantee participants will be using this module to create their semi-annual report. In this section, we're going to go over the main functions and organization of the QPR module, the basic DRGR functions, and we'll highlight some different screenshots to talk about the information that will be collected in the QPR, or for the RIF program, the semi-annual report, and the organization of the QPR, and look at a division between full grant project reporting criteria and then activity reporting criteria. And lastly, we're going to talk about the reporting timeline and the QPR deadlines for the Rural Innovation Fund program. So the QPR module is also known as the semi-annual report for Rural Innovation Fund program. Traditionally, DRGR users report on a quarterly basis, but for the Rural Innovation Fund program, we're requiring grantees to report every 6 months, so on a semi-annual basis. In the QPR module, the grantees are primarily responsible for entering, editing, and modifying their QPR or their semi-annual reports, while the field office and HUD headquarter participants are primarily responsible for reviewing and approving QPR submittals. So the main importance of this module is creating and reviewing QPRs, or the semi-annual report submittals, to ensure that you're reaching your performance projections, that you're on budget, and that your grant is following the timeline that was created in your action plan submittal. Under the training resource bullet, you'll see a link to the DRGR website and the available training guide for QPR module. This will help grantee users to develop their QPR and to learn more about the functionalities available within the module. So the QPR module, as I stated before, stands for the Quarterly Performance Report module. And under the RIF program, grantees will be reporting every 6 months, so the semi-annual basis. So although it's called the QPR module, RIF grantees can interpret this as a semi-annual report module. The QPR module will allow grantees to create and submit financial and performance data related to their grant, along with reporting through progress narratives, and there will be narratives available to explain advancements and progress across the whole grant project and also at the activity level. Data entry into the QPR is based on the organization of the action plan that was created at the beginning of your DRGR process, and the narrative entry fields allow grantees to report and provide greater detail on performance measures and financial tracking that's not specifically tracked inside of DRGR or inside the specific activities created in the action plan module. In the QPR module, you'll see data on financial and performance data. The QPR shows data based on the current reporting period and also a cumulative data set based on all the previous reporting periods. So that way, at any one time in the QPR, you'll know what you've done over the last 6 months and you'll know what you've done over the previous reporting periods across the total grant term. The QPR should demonstrate your progress towards meeting the budget and performance projection goals set in the action plan. And this constant connection to the action plan shows the connectivity between the QPR module and the action plan, and that the action plan, being at the beginning, became the puzzle piece or the template that was used to connect your whole grant reporting process. So, as we'll see here on this next slide, the QPR module and the action plan module are intimately connected. If a grantee is not meeting the performance projections outlined in their action plan, it's important to start a dialogue between the grantee and the HUD field contact to understand what was expected based on the action plan and to understand where the grantee should be in their QPR reporting, their projections, and their budgeting and performance data. If there is a need for the action plan to be modified, that is possible under DRGR. The action plan is considered a dynamic document in that it can be modified at any time. But if modifications are completed on the action plan, it's important to remember the previous guidance that's been given and the guidelines of the Rural Innovation Fund program to ensure that any action plan modifications align with the approval and review procedures that have been developed and provided for the Rural Innovation Fund program. So essentially, if the action plan modifications result in changes that are applicable to an amendment, you'll need to follow the provided amendment guidance. And if they don't follow an amendment and they require a HUD field office approval, then you'll have to follow the procedures for a HUD field office approval or a sign-off. So action plans cannot be modified, and remember, they cannot be modified while a QPR is being reviewed. The reason that this functions in place is that when a reviewer, a HUD staff from the field or headquarters, when they're reviewing the QPR, they need to have a standardized action plan in place so they can compare the results from the QPR with the projections that were made in the action plan. If grantees were allowed to change the action plan to reflect what was in the QPR, then it would not be an accurate measure of what was available or predicted in the application and what was developed in the original action plan. So when you start up your QPR, you are going to want to go to the View All Reports screen under the QPR module and hit the Add Edit QPRs link to view, edit, or start a new QPR. On the Add and Edit QPR screen, we'll look at the reporting date and select whether to add, view, print, or edit a QPR. HUD users can use this same process to view and review QPR reports submitted by their RIF grantees. Now, when we look at DRGR and the accessing the QPR process that was talked about on the previous slide, we see highlighted in the red circle at the top of the module menu that the QPR is highlighted in yellow. So inside the QPR module, we're going to select the View All link on the left navigational column, and that'll bring up this list of all the available grants for the specific DRGR user. Most RIF grants would expect just to see one grant, their Rural Innovation Fund grant, and they would click the applicable Add Edit QPRs link in the far right-hand column. This would take them to the Add Edit QPRs page for that specific grant. And you can see on the far left-hand column of the chart the due dates, and this would reflect the due date for the QPR. And RIF grantees would want to come in and edit or add QPRs in line with the reporting period and the due date for the specific QPR. Moving on to the creating a new QPR, there's two levels of creation when you're working in the QPR. The first level is the overall grant level, so this reflects progress at the overall project level and looks at broader trends across all the activities that are being proposed under the Rural Innovation Fund grant project. And then there's the activity level, which we'll explore after the overall grant level, and that's looking specifically at each individual activity and the specific progress, performance, and financials that are being tracked at the activity level. When you're going to the overall grant data and information entry into the QPR, you first want to click the Add link from the Add Edit QPR screen, which we saw just recently 2 screens ago. And then we're going to fill in or review basic grant information. So the QPR will ask you to confirm the contact information for the grant and the grantee. And it will also ask you to enter the overall progress narrative, and this is a general description of what happened over the last 6 months from a more broad standpoint. So you're not specifically looking at the activities or any one specific activity, but just broadly, how has the grant progressed over the last 6 months? And then towards the end of this overall grant data and information section of the QPR, you'll see a list of all the activities and the budgets from the action plan, and you'll want to confirm the activity budgets to make sure that everything is matching up with the action plan. You'll also use this chart to access the individual activity sections of the QPR and do your activity level reporting. As always, remember to save your QPR as you're working to avoid losing information and to ensure that you'll be able to come back and edit the QPR if you have to leave the session before it's completed. So looking at the overall grant level reporting for the QPR, we can see the confirming and updating contact information screen, and this screen is accessed by going to the first to View All link on the QPRs and then selecting the Add Edit function on the grant. And then from the Add Edit QPR screen, you'll want to select Add, the Add link for the specific reporting period, and this will bring you to the Add Performance Report page, which you can see the Add Performance Report title under the Quarterly Performance Report in gold. And you can see circled in red the Add New Contact if you need to update the existing contact information for the grant project or the specific grantee contact. Here you can see in the red box where you can add the overall progress narrative. In addition, you can see the breakdown of activities for the grant. And more specifically on this page, you see blue links which you'll hit to access the individual activity level section of the QPR, where you will be reporting on the progress for measures, performance measures, and financials for the individual activities that were built in your DRGR action plan. So looking at the activity level data and information expectations, it's important to select the activities using the chart on the previous page. So there's a chart summarizing your activities and activity level budgets on the overall grant level reporting part of the QPR, and you'll select those links to go to the individual activity pages. And on those activity pages, you'll be expected to fill in or review data and information relating to basic info. So fill in the date of completion if the project's been finished during the reporting period, but you're also confirming the existing data for the activity, timeline data, activity title, activity ID, and other key entries that were made in the action plan. You'll also be confirming the budget data from the drawdown menu and adding in expenditures and program income from that specific reporting period. In addition, you'll be entering activity level performance measures, and you'll be responsible for completing an activity narrative entry. And remember, as we stated on the overall project level of the QPR, remember to save your QPR as you work to avoid losing information. Looking at the specific DRGR screens, we can see the updating basic activity information at the top of the Editing to Performance Report Activity Page 1 screen. And you can see in the red box where you have the option to enter a completed activity and the actual end date if the actual end date falls within the most recent reporting period. And you can also see the other basic activity information that's listed, including the grant number, the grantee name, the QPR start dates, the activity type, number, and the national objective, which is always Rural Innovation Fund. Here in the drawdown section, you'll see where it tracks drawdowns from the previous reporting period, budgeting information from the action plan, and it'll have field entries where you can put expenditures, both program income and program funds for the Rural Innovation. And you can also enter in leverage contributions as well under the match contributions row. So with the reporting measures, it's important to remember that the data fields available in the QPR will be the same fields that were completed in the action plan. Data entered in the QPR should reflect progress based on the most recent 6-month reporting period, but the QPR will also show you cumulative totals across all reporting periods and will remind you of the projections that were entered in the action plan. It would be valuable to have a printout of the action plan available to you while you're working in the QPR, so you make sure and stay aware of the projections that you set for yourself in the action plan. That way you're constantly reminding yourself to stay on track with the projections. If you do realize that there's need for a modification, you can start a dialogue with your HUD field contact. Please be aware to double check your measures so as to avoid leaving out or adding in extra data. It'll be really important as we get to the end of the grant term to make sure that you're on track with your projections, and we really advise you to avoid double counting wherever possible so that the data reads cleanly and accurately. When you're ready to submit your QPRs for review, you'll follow a similar process to what you use for the action plan. You can access the submittal button from the main QPR screen. This is where we filled in the overall grant project information, including the narrative. We confirmed the contact information, and we looked at the activity budgets and confirmed all the budget amounts. So this is called the Add Performance Report screen, and you can see the submittal button, which is in between the Save and Cancel button. The QPR review status will work like the action plan, and revisions will be requested as necessary. Please remember that action plans cannot be modified while QPRs are being reviewed, because HUD staff needs a saved action plan in place in order to use for comparison to the numbers, information, and financials reported in the QPR. Now we'd like to move on to the RIF reporting timeline and remind everyone of the specific reporting periods and grant term for the Royal Innovation Fund program. Reporting for the Royal Innovation Fund program will run from October 1st, 2011 through September 30th, 2014. In this time period, RIF grantees will be responsible for completing 6 semi-annual reports using the DRGR QPR module. So that's 6 reports, 1 every 6 months over the 3-year grant term. Reports are due no later than 30 days after the end of the reporting period. Please refer to the next slide for the specific reporting periods and semi-annual report due dates for the Royal Innovation Fund program. As you can see, there are 6 reporting periods running 1 through 6 down the left-hand column. We list the reporting period dates in the middle column, starting with October 1st, 2011 through September 30th, 2014. In particular, the first reporting period runs from October 1st, 2011 through March 31st, 2012, and the due date for the semi-annual report will fall 30 days later on April 30th, 2012. For reporting period 6, the final QPR report will be due October 30th, 2014. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in today for the Royal Innovation Fund DRGR Training Session 3 video, and we hope that everyone is able to understand the QPR module better. We encourage you here at the Office of Community Renewal to work with your assigned HUD field contact to go over the training material and access further guidance. And we will be glad through the desk officers to provide additional assistance both on the Royal Innovation Fund program and DRGR grant monitoring system. Thank you.